The great and awesome day of Asara Tevet, the 10th of Tevet, is very close. Since King Moshiach, also known as Lubavicher Rebbe, announced back in 1991 that we're in the days of Mashiach and all we need is to open the eyes to see true and complete redemption here and now, literally in a simple sense, how are we supposed to conduct ourselves on such special day? The prophet of the generation said many times that the righteous women of our Geula generation would usher us into redemption. Therefore, I offer you to listen to one of those Geula ladies doing it right here, right now.
Hi, welcome everybody. So let's first take a step before I just talk about Rabbi Shimon and our generation. Let's say together, Yechid Adonenu Moreinu Rabbeinu HaMelech HaMashiach Le'elam V'ad. Yechid Adonenu Moreinu Rabbeinu HaMelech HaMashiach Le'elam V'ad. Yechid Adonenu Moreinu Rabbeinu HaMelech HaMashiach Le'elam V'ad. Yechid Melech HaMashiach HaTzimtzot. T'chia Malka. That's Rebbe Chaim Mishka, the Jewish nation. Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. What a zchut to be here with every one of you. My name is Asara, okay? And we started Simcha. The Simcha parts together. Simcha breaks boundaries. Boundaries is our limitation, and the limitations that really sometimes can exist. But for us in the redemption, they really don't have to. It's all up to us. Because sometimes, when we are receiving something, it may, in order for us to receive it, it's packaged. It's packaged because Hashem wants to give you something so good. And if it's given to us in a way that it looks not good, when the good is unveiled, no one can touch that good. That good is something that no eye can stop. This is the good that is eternal. So basically, at the end of days, these curses that we saw, really, these are very high blessings. That at the end of days, things may look a certain way. We have to take the letters nega, which means something that looks like an affliction. Nega means an affliction. Scramble the letters, and what do you get? Oneg. Oneg, pleasure. The highest lights. To God's wisdom, the way us and God are one. The way God was before He created a world. Did God exist before there was a world? Yes. Only after God created a world did we have to deal with a physical world, what I'm allowed to do, what I'm not allowed to do, what I have to fix in the world. I'm a human being who may not see God. This world is olam and lashon hela v'hester, concealment. Now I have to reveal God in the world. I have a job to do, being somebody who may be separate from God. But before God created the world, He existed. And you know, us and Him were one. We are one. And God had wisdom before the Torah that tells us what you're supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do in a physical world. Here's God's wisdom. Nothing to do with the world. Right? He had wisdom before He created the world. That is the wisdom of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And that is joy. That is something not with any limitation. And therefore, on this day, we have to rejoice, for that is the beginning of the Torah of the redemption. We're not supposed to be sad. Now, I want to just finish with saying the connection of Moshe Rabbeinu, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach. Just to say, Rashbi, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is Rabbi Shneerson B. The Rabbi inside of me. Rashbi inside of me. Because Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said that there's a Moshe Rabbeinu in every generation. Moshe lives in the leader of the generation. He lives in Rashbi, and he lives in Mashiach. And since every Jew has a spark of Mashiach inside of us, we have a spark of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai inside of us, and we have a spark of Moshe Rabbeinu inside of us. But what? In the time of the redemption, we have to celebrate. For us, Lag BaOmer is every single day. Once you enter the time of the redemption, we have to increase in sazon, b'simcha, and joy every single day. And when we are b'simcha every single day, we take Rashi, we take Lag BaOmer with us every single day. And then Hashem wants to give us, and He wants to give us straight blessings that no one can take away from us. Blessings that no one can touch because we live with Mashiach, with the Rebbe Melech Mashiach. We live with joy. And when we live with joy, in the morning, in the night, when we're eating, when we're sleeping, when we're dancing, that's when we eat, we're holy. When we're dancing, we're holy. When we're learning Torah, we're holy. Of course, when we learn the Torah of Mashiach, we have the vessels. We can fuse the joy. If we don't know about it, it's hard to do. It's in the air, electricity is here. You can hear music on the radio, but you have to plug in. So to plug in, we have to learn the Torah of Mashiach. So that's my message for today, how we have to be joyous. We're going to dance. I got a present. And a lady was selling things, and one of the things, I bought it, but for me it was a present. It was like a collar necklace. And I bought this collar necklace, and I brought it with me here. I'm going to wear it one day, real crystal. And I said to Rebbe, of course, I'm your collar, because the Jewish nation is the collar of Hashem. And I'm going to wear this necklace as your collar. We're the bride of God. And then, right afterwards, I received a phone call, and I opened up a volume of a sikha from the Rebbe Melech Mashiach. And there it said, that Jewish women have to wear jewelry, for they are the bride of God. I'm going to end with one thing. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said, if you want to see the face of God, look right here. And Moshe Rabbeinu has written Tehillim, Tefillah LeMoshe Elokim, a prayer to Moshe, the man of God. The Rebbe Melech Mashiach, when he took leadership, he said that what is Mashiach? I'm going to talk about this more tomorrow. I'm going to give you a little point, but I'm going to talk about it more tomorrow, Tisha. Mashiach is the way God reveals himself in this physical world. So if you want to see the face of God, you look here. Thank you. It means, by the way, in the redemption, it's shown in every single Jew. Everyone, we have our convention, we're going to look at every single one of you and see Hashem shining from you. We fixed the Chet Etzadas, and therefore, the Torah, and how? The Torah that was given to us in Har Sinai is about what I am allowed to do, what I'm not allowed to do. When you look about the Torah Moses gave us, the Ten Commandments, believe in one God, do not kill, do not steal, do not do adultery, all of these laws are laws that put you in line. You see there's lines here? I'm walking on the lines, but the lines are to keep me. This is what I'm supposed to do. And this is what I'm not supposed to do. When I was put in line, it's like you take an animal and you muzzle him. Or you say, you can only go here. Right? Stick it in a box. You can only go here and you can only go there. The Jewish nation went through this for thousands of years. We first of all, through the Torah, we can only do this and we can only do that. Right? Why? Because while we were muzzling ourselves, we can only do this and we can only do that, at the same time, we were, like we said before, correcting the bad and good, separating the bad and good in the world, cleaning things out. You can only do this. So what is the Torah about? The Torah is about a world that needs to be fixed, corrected. That's what the Torah and mitzvahs is about. To fix ourselves, at the same time, fix the world. Let me ask you a question. We discussed this a little bit yesterday. Before God created the world, we know the Torah is the wisdom of God. Does that mean there's no wisdom? If the Torah we know is what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do, does that mean that God doesn't... So what wisdom was there if there was no world? Could it be that it's the whole wisdom of God? What you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do? There was God's wisdom before he created a world. Right? Nothing to do with fixing. That's the level of the Torah of Mashiach. That's the Torah the Rebbe Melech Mashiach gives us. It doesn't negate that we have to do the Torah and mitzvahs. The difference is that in the redemption, it's not really called the Torah and mitzvahs that we do in the redemption. Now it has a different focus. And we see it. No longer is my Torah and mitzvahs now to fix things. Now the reason I'm doing Torah, and it's not really, you wouldn't even call it mitzvah. You know what it's called? Halacha. Halacha means the word halicha, to go. It keeps going. redemption, we are going to uncover more and more laws that apply for a Jew in the life of the redemption. And we're going to learn about this in later sessions. Okay? It's connected to joy. It's connected to a new way of life. That's why halacha is milashon halicha, to go. It says, "V'nasati lachem," the Rebbe Marash writes, "V'nasati lachem holchim bein ha'omdim," and I put for you those who walk amongst those who are standing. Literally, when you learn about it, you think about the angels. The angels, they can't go on higher levels. The angels, they see the light of God. But they're not. But it says when an angel comes into a room where 10 Jews are standing, it becomes null and void. It can't stand. 10 Jews who are not even talking about Torah. Just the presence of 10 Jews in the room, their Shechina causes that the angel should become null and void. Because, like we said, every Jew is a pomegranate full of mitzvahs, even if he doesn't know it. Even if he doesn't know it. So therefore, what he does is reuniting God in the world. Him and God is one. Whereas the angels, they just live off the light of God. Well, that's a different subject we can't discuss right now. But there's so much to talk about. But the light, it's like the difference between the sun and the light of the sun. Could you compare it? The angels live off the light of the sun. We and God is like we are the sun itself. You understand the difference? That's why an angel with 10 Jews doing just in the same room becomes nullified. So, what is Halichot Olam Lo? Yes.
The meaning of the sentence is that I gave you a status of walkers amongst the standers.
Now,
Which are standards
so literally it means
you're advancing all the time. But
right. So people advance. Angels, they see the light of God, but they can't go on higher levels. What does it mean for us? There's a different explanation there, Rashi. V'nasati lachem holchim bein omdim. There are those who are stuck. Omdim. They're stuck. They can't go. They're stuck in a certain place in their spirituality, and they can't go on. They don't know how to walk. They don't know that God is eternal. That God sees. He created a world. For example, I'll give you an example. There was a time that there are laws of destruction of the Holy Temple. Right? I'll give you an example. There are certain laws they have to do because the Holy Temple was destroyed. One of those laws is, it says, that you're not allowed to have too much joy. Because the Holy Temple was destroyed. Now, when the Holy Temple was there, did we have a lot of joy? Oh, did we have joy? It says, Kol mi shelo ra'a simchat be'Yisrael lo ra'a simcha b'yamav. Whoever didn't see the joy that was there when they poured the water on the Mizbeach and Sukkot in the Holy Temple, they never saw, that means they never saw joy in their life. It means that when the Jews were in the Holy Temple, and especially the time of Shlomo HaMelech, when all the nations would come and give gifts, and they would give sacrifice in the Holy Temple, there was such joy. But when the Holy Temple was destroyed, came a halacha, a law. You're not allowed to have too much joy. You're not allowed to fill your mouth with laughter. Why? As a remembrance that the Holy Temple was destroyed. Why? As it's written in the Shulchan Aruch, Ki az yimaled tzchok pinu. Only then in the redemption can you fill your mouth with laughter. In fact, even in a simcha mitzvah, even when you go to a chasana in the time of exile, you can dance and you can be happy, but not too much. Not like I was dancing yesterday, but not too much. Okay. Now, why? Because in the time of exile, we have to hold ourselves back a little bit. That's the halacha. Don't forget that you were in exile. Don't forget the Holy Temple was destroyed. So, but in the time that the Holy Temple was there, were we celebrating? Were we happy? Yes. Okay. So it means that halacha is going according to what is happening, what Hashem is giving us at this time, what we are living through at this time. I'm giving you an example. In 1991, the Rebbe Melech Moshiach said that this, and it's written in Shulchan Aruch, that you are forbidden to fill your mouth with laughter. This is when you're before the time of Mashiach. But what is the expression? Az yemaled tzchok pinu. Then you shall fill your mouth with laughter. The word az is spelled Aleph, Zayin. Aleph, Zayin together equals 8. 8. The Rebbe Melech Mashiach says, the three Adikar Rebbe, the Rebbe before our Rebbe. Okay, there are 7 Rebbes of Chabad, but if you include Chassidus in general, before the Rebbes of Chabad, there are 2 more. The Baal Shem Tov and the Mezuzah Shemad. That would make the Rebbe the ninth from the Baal Shem Tov, and the Friedrich Rebbe, the Rebbe before our Rebbe, the eighth from the Baal Shem Tov. Since the Friedrich Rebbe is the eighth from the Baal Shem Tov, Aleph Zayin equals 8. The Rebbe said, what is the name of the previous Lubavicher Rebbe? Yosef Yitzchak, to add in laughter. Now is the time. But the Rebbe said the Friedrich Rebbe is revealed now, because the Rebbe said about the Friedrich Rebbe, Nishmato bi, his soul is within me. And the Rebbe said that now, since now we are in the time of the redemption, the Friedrich Rebbe is now revealed in the Rebbe with all his might as Mashiach. Now, not only this halacha in the Shulchan Aruch that you're forbidden to fill your mouths with laughter. Not only are you not forbidden, not only are you granted permission, you must fill your mouths with laughter. Malka, thank you for your class. You must fill your mouths with laughter. 1 minute. The Shulchan Aruch tells you halacha. You are forbidden to fill your mouths with laughter. But, as we said before, halacha milashon halicha. We're not stuck. V'natati lachem holchim ben omdim. We have to go. We have to go with the flow. The world has been elevated. And now, the way we serve God is not through brokenness and not through sadness, but through joy. In fact, if sometimes, and it's practice. Sometimes you can be upset about something and think, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Then I remind myself, Sarah, Tshuva now is Simcha. So I just look at it as a picture, I smile. Yeah. I smile. That's my Tshuva. Tshuva is Simcha. If my Tshuva is Simcha, I better do it. It was Simcha. And it means Simcha every single moment of your day, because every moment of your day is godly. I'm going to stop here. So I just want to, before we go, let's see what we can remember. We can remember that the world has to know that there's a Mashiach, because the redemption means that there's a Mashiach. That was the compassion. One more thing. Do you know that Yosef Yitzchak, Yosef is 6 times 26. You do Yud, Vav. Yud is 10, Vav is 6, Shamach is 60, Pei is 80. You add it together, it's 6 times 26. Because the Friedrich Rebbe is the 6th from the Alter Rebbe, the first Rebbe of Chabad. Yitzchak is 8 times 26. Because the Friedrich Rebbe is the 8th leader from the Baal Shem Tov. He is 26 is Shem Havaya. Yud Kei Vav Kei equals 26. The leader of the generation is the way God reveals himself in this world. So what did we start off with? Rashbi said, if you want to see the face of God, look here. We have to know that we have a leader. When you look at him, this is what you see. You see God. This is what you have to know. Once you recognize this, you as a shaliach nullify yourself to his will. His will now is to announce the redemption. Now you can reveal him in you. Now you will walk around and be a light on the nations. And now the nations will want to do their job in the redemption, to do goodness and kindness, because they see you and they recognize godliness, and they want to connect to you, and they say, oh, so when you give them the 7 laws, they want to join you, and they want to help you, and they want to learn about God, and they want to know about God. I met a lady on the train, and she wasn't Jewish, and she said, I have a question. She asked me, Abraham and Sarah, she's reading the Bible. She was so excited when I told her the answer, and she gave me her telephone number. She wants to learn more. She wants to know more. It says in the Redemption, the nation wants to know about God. But how can we know what to tell them if we don't know the right message? So it's connecting to the Rebbe, Melech HaMashiach, and the Torah Chadasha. Then we remembered, including that is what we learn, we have to bring to action. What is the action? Living redemption. What is the message? That what the Rebbe tells us now is to live in a way of joy. And this is what we're going to learn more through the convention. Different people will teach you how to reveal your light, how to reveal the joy, and what is the Torah of Mashiach. And we didn't discuss the prophecy of the Rebbe and all that, which I wanted to do. We jumped ahead. We'll do it in Mitzvah Shem.
You said that doing Torah.
Yes.
What about the mitzvot Mashiach that every Jew has?
Yeah, we discussed it, every Jew. Yet. But we'll talk about every Jew. Another time more, we'll talk about the Kochav. For today, we covered. I want us to go over this point and the point that, to know that the Torah is eternal. The Torah is eternal, and sometimes different laws apply for different times.
What about Chevlei Mashiach?
We went through that already. Chevlei Mashiach, we're finished with Chevlei Mashiach.
Oh, we are finished.
We're finished with Chevlei Mashiach. The Rebbe said that's it. There will never be another Hitler. There will never lo takum tzara pamayim. We said Geula she'en acharei galut. We are in a redemption. There will never be another exile.
Now that you have heard the most joyous prophetic truth of King Moshiach Lubavicher Rebbe, you have a choice of conducting your Asara Tevet with business as usual, fasting and affliction, thereby being spiritually stuck in galut, exile, and not walking halicha with halacha, laws of redemption. Or you can feast and celebrate as meant to be in the Geula, when our mouth is supposed to be filled with joy and laughter, and turn nega, affliction and pain, into oneg, pleasure. And how can I fast and be sad, since King Moshiach Lubavicher Rebbe announced that for God to achieve the redemption, he needs us to agree, will, and proclaim Geula here and now. The only way to do that is by feasting with joy, laughter, singing, and dancing.
The prophet told us have no fear. Let's celebrate Mashiach's here. Forget the tension and live redemption. Let's celebrate. No worries, mate.
No worries, mate.
Forget the fear.
Forget the fear.
Mashiach's here.
Mashiach's here.
Let's dance and sing.
Dance and sing.
Long live the King.
Long live
The
the King.
prophet told us have no tension. Open your eyes and see redemption. Forget the fear.
Forget the fear.
Mashiach's here.
Mashiach's here.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
No worries, mate.
No worries,
Forget the tension and live redemption. Let's dance and sing
Dance and sing.
and greet the King.
And greet the King.
The prophet told us have no fear. Let's celebrate. The Mashiach's here.
Oh.
Forget the tension and live redemption. Let's celebrate. No worries, mate.
No worries, mate.
Forget the fear.
Forget the
The
fear.
redemption's here.
Redemption's here.
Let's dance and sing.
Dance and sing.
Long live the King.
Long live-
The Rebbe is the boss. King Moshiach, the Rebbe is the prophet. King Moshiach, the Rebbe is the essence. King Moshiach is alive and well. The Rebbe is the judge. King Moshiach, the Rebbe is the coach. King Moshiach, the Rebbe is the man. King Moshiach is alive and well, and he has redeemed us. And he has redeemed us. And he has redeemed Спасение пришло, спасение пришло. Geula's here, Moshiach's here.
Mashiach's here.
Спасение пришло, спасение пришло. Geula's here,
Geula's here.
Moshiach's here.
Mashiach's here. Dance and sing.
And celebrate. Освобождение пришло, освобождение пришло. Освобождение пришло, освобождение пришло.